I was thinking of starting by just ribbing you ever so slightly for not having a Marquette Law School poll of this race. Are you comfortable with that?
I can take ribbing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll
All
push
right. All right.
back
All right.
if whenever
I
I
don't,
feel the need to, but all in good spirits.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want my sarcastic New York sensibilities to offend. I've put myself in that situation before.
No, we'll be fine.
I ripped on Charles for not doing a horse race, but he has an explanation as to why. So we'll get into it.
Hello and welcome to the GD Politics Podcast. I'm Galen. Once upon a time, I might have opened a podcast episode about a state Supreme Court race in Wisconsin by saying something like, I know it's an obscure election, but hear me out. But by now, political coverage of any statewide race in Wisconsin probably needs little explanation. Wisconsin was the tipping point state in 2016 and 2020. In other words, it was the state that put the winning candidate over the edge in the Electoral College. And in 2024, while it wasn't the tipping point state, it was the single closest state in the country. Trump won it by less than a percentage point. And in fact, Wisconsin voters cast a rare split ticket decision, sending both Trump and Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin to Washington. And so Tuesday's Supreme Court race serves as something of a test of how voters in a battleground state, perhaps the battleground state, are feeling 10 weeks into Trump's second term. And one of the main themes of Trump's presidency so far is taking center stage, and that is the role that Elon Musk is playing in government. The race is nominally nonpartisan, but liberal Judge Susan Crawford and conservative Judge Brad Schimmel have been very clear about where they stand on state and even national politics. And the election will determine the ideological balance of the state's court, which flipped to liberal for the first time since 2008 in 2023. Here with me to talk about all of it is director of the Marquette Law School poll, Charles Franklin. Welcome to the podcast.
Good to be here.
And also here with us is political reporter for CBS 58 Milwaukee, Emily Fannin. Welcome to the podcast, Emily.
Thanks for having me.
So, Charles, I usually, in my intro, cite the state of the polls, but there has been precious little public polling of this race. And of course, when I'm looking for Wisconsin polls, I'm looking for that Marquette University law poll, and I didn't find one. What's going on here? Why am I not getting any Marquette law polls?
Well, we did do one, but we did it at the beginning of March. We released March 5th. We looked at the Supreme Court race in terms of favorability and the knowledge of the candidates. But as we expected, 38% didn't know the conservative Schimmel, and 54% didn't know the liberal Crawford. Asking people how they're going to vote when more than a third and up to half don't know the candidates at that stage is maybe, interesting to see the clickbait from that, but we didn't think it would be very informative about how the race would turn out. Instead, we devoted about 12 questions to issues related to the court, hoping to shape the discussion of the court race at that point rather than just going with the horse race. But you're right, the amount of public polling has been limited, and almost all of it has come from conservative-aligned groups. Interestingly, one, the oldest, showed Schimmel a little bit ahead, but all of the rest, including 4 polls from the Musk super PAC, have shown Crawford, the liberal, a little bit ahead. And one from the state's business lobby showed a dead tie at 47-47, but even that one now is a couple of weeks old.
Okay, so y'all didn't do a horse race poll because the concern was that Wisconsinites didn't know enough about Susan Crawford and Brad Schimmel. I would venture a guess that even on April 1st, Election Day, many Wisconsinites will still not know very much about Susan Crawford and Brad Schimmel, but they will know what they stand for as proxies for these larger sort of cultural, national political battles, statewide battles, etc. So, I mean, did you at least get a sense from some of the issue-based questions of where Wisconsinites stand or, how the balance is tipping?
No, absolutely. And in the favorability questions, we saw